This is Ham College, episode 57 for September 30th, 2019. Ham College is brought to you by ICOM. Make the most out of this contest season with ICOM. And by hamstudy.org, a great place to study for your next amateur exam. Good evening. Welcome to another episode of Ham College. I'm Professor Thomas.
And I'm Dean Martin.
It just never does get old, does it?
Depends on who you ask. That's a nice looking cup you got over there, by the way.
That is a nice looking cup, and it's tasty too.
Mm-hmm. You have to operate this cup left-handed at the end of the month, and on the 15th, you have to operate it right-handed.
I see that. So that you're in sync with,
so you're with the
current show, yeah. These are the new Ham College and AmateurLogic mugs.
Yep.
They're on the Spreadshirt
pretty tasty
store now.
Well, the stuff in them is.
Yep. This is going to be the last episode that comes out of the general class study pool that just expired in July.
Yep.
Just expired. That's the questions we've been covering, and this is the very last out of that study guide or question pool that we're covering tonight. There's been a few changes to the pool, a few additions. We'll be covering those in the next episode, and if it depends on how many changes there were, maybe the next two episodes. We haven't really tallied up how many changes there were just yet, but we'll have those next month, or at least we'll begin on them. And then we're going to move over and start on the extra. And Gordo has a new book out there now that covers 2019 to 2023 question pool.
Cool.
So you want to get your copy of that if you're studying for the general?
I'll tell you what, I'll read the first question for you. How about that?
Really? You do that for me?
Yeah, heck yeah. You can answer the first one. Which are the... I feel a laughing spell coming on tonight for some reason.
It started much earlier.
Yeah, it did, before the camera even started. Which of the following direct fuse power connections would be best for a 100-watt HF mobile installation? A, to the battery using heavy gauge wire.
B, to the alternator or generator using heavy gauge wire.
C, to the battery using resistor wire.
Or D, to the alternator or generator using resistor wire. This one is pretty easy, I think. Everybody in the chat room that's entered an answer has got this one correct. We might as well just go ahead and say what the answer is. It's A. I think we all know that it's best if you're installing a mobile, particularly 100 watts, just run your power cables all the way right to the battery with a heavy gauge wire.
And when you park your vehicle in the airport parking garage, be sure to turn it off before you're gone for a week.
That works best.
Because I've been burned by that twice.
Twice. So let's look at the other answers there. To the alternator or generator using heavy gauge wire. Not really. What if the
You don't want to really hook it up straight to the alternator.
No, what if the vehicle's not even running? To the battery using resistor wire. No, you're just going to be dropping voltage. If you do that, you won't be able to make that 100 watts. Or to the alternator or generator using resistor wire. No. Two reasons you wouldn't want to do that. One is you don't want to run it to the alternator generator. The other is you don't want to use resistor wire. What is resistor wire and why would that even come up here?
I don't know why it would come up here, because they're trying to trick you.
What do you think about resistor wire? Why would they even suggest that? Where have you even heard of that?
I haven't.
But you probably have.
Have I?
Resistor spark plug wire.
Oh.
If you look at some spark plug wire, it'll say resistor on it. They do that to spark plug wires to kind of keep down noise, ignition noise out of your vehicle. So.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
So that's probably why they even suggested that. Anyway.
Do they even have spark plugs anymore?
Yeah, they do, unless you're running diesel, I think.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
Well, I got one for you.
Okay.
Why is it best not to draw the DC power from a 100 watt HF transceiver from a vehicle's auxiliary power socket? A, the socket is not wired with an RF shielded power cable.
B, the socket's wiring may be inadequate for the current drawn by the transceiver.
C, the DC polarity of the socket is reversed from the polarity of modern HF transceivers.
Or D, the drawing more than 50 watts from this socket could cause the engine to overheat. Well, I'm going to tell you it's not D, because drawing the power is not going to cause your engine to overheat. C, the DC polarity of this socket is reversed. That's not true either. Positives, positive, negatives, negative. That's not right.
No, if it is, there's a serious problem with the wiring harness in your vehicle.
And B, the socket's wire may be inadequate. That's probably the case. Or A, the socket is not wired with RF shielded cable. I could tell you it's probably not wired with RF shielded cable, but the answer is going to be B. It's not adequate. Most likely it's not adequate for that much current to be pulled.
That's what everybody's saying over in the chat room there. Andy's saying that most of them are only 10 amps. Mm-hmm. That's probably right. I don't recall. But, you got 20 amp fuses in your 100 watt rig, so you're going to need something that can supply at least that to be safe.
Or up to that.
Up to that. Yeah. Well, yeah. If you really want to play it cool, use bigger gauge wire than you really have to. That's
that's always the best bet. If you have a very long run, keep your runs short too.
Yeah, because there's resistive losses in that wire, even if it's not resistor wire. So the shorter you have that run and the bigger gauge wire you use, the less resistance or heating of that wire you're going to have, and the more voltage you're going to deliver right to the rig. Make sense?
It does make sense.
And it is the answer.
It is the answer.
You were good on that.
No buzzer. Oh, wait, I owed you one from the last one, too, there.
Yep. That was like a double tap there.
Don't get that started.
I was thinking about that a while ago, but we won't go into it.
Which of the following is true of an emergency generator installation? A, the generator should be located in a well-ventilated area.
B, the generator must be insulated from ground.
C, fuel should be stored near the generator for rapid refueling in case of an emergency.
Or D, all of these choices are correct.
Are you waiting for me to answer it too?
Oh, is this mine?
I read it.
Okay.
Well, I did the last one.
I don't think all of the choices are correct, so it is not D. C, fuel should be stored near the generator for rapid refueling in case of emergency. Yes, or in case you need a quick fire. That would be handy. No, definitely not C. You don't put the fuel that you're storing near the generator. B, the generator must be insulated from ground. No. Most of those generators actually have a ground lug on them, so you could connect to ground. And A, the generator should be located in a well-ventilated area. And I think, yeah, we all know gasoline engines, they're going to be putting out carbon monoxide. You need it ventilated. You don't want to be breathing that stuff in. And
very ventilated.
That's not good. Everybody got that one right as well. I can tell.
I'm glad.
We have a smart class tonight. They're going to ace this. I feel it coming on already.
Well, these are the advanced students tonight.
It is.
The advanced class.
That was it. What is the name of the process by which sunlight is changed directly into electricity? Is it A, photovoltaic conversion?
B, photon emission?
C, photosynthesis?
Or D, photon decomposition? I don't think it's D, photon decomposition. Photosynthesis is like when plants turn sunlight into energy. I don't think that's right either. It's going to be, it's not photon emission either. That's from the photon torpedoes.
It is?
No. A, photovoltaic conversion is going to be the answer. That's my final answer.
Most everybody said that over in the chat room there. One of those other answers is, is a familiar term, photosynthesis, but that's not what's happening here. I'm going to agree with you. It's photovoltaic conversion.
Voltaic.
Yep. There you go.
There I go. We're going to have to get them a little bit tougher. I'm glad you got this one. I see a lot of numbers down there. What is the approximate open circuit voltage from a fully illuminated silicon photovoltaic cell? A, 0.02 volts DC.
B, 0.5 volts DC.
C, 0.2 volts DC.
Or D, 1.38 volts DC. What is the approximate open circuit voltage from a fully illuminated silicon photovoltaic
We're getting some different answers in here.
cell? Yeah, this is a tough one here. That means a single photocell, how much voltage can you get out of it? And they're saying open circuit, that means there's no load on it, because if you put a load across it, that's going to drop that voltage some. Mm-hmm. So unloaded. A, 0.02 volts DC. That's not very much. You would think it would take like a million.
You have to have a whole yard full of them to do anything.
To do anything. Yep. 1.38 volts. That sounds like a pretty good answer, doesn't it?
Well,
that's what most of them are guessing in the chat room.
Yeah, it seems a little high to me, but maybe I don't know the answer to this one.
C, 0.2 volts DC. Seems maybe that's a little low. The answer is B, 0.5 volts DC, half a volt. And we only had one person get that right, if it is right. Let's see. And that's it.
Half a volt DC.
And just like almost everyone in the chat room, when I was typing in these questions, I got that one wrong. I was thinking it was 1.38 volts. That
really?
Seemed like...
That's what most of the answers were out there too.
But no, it's half a volt. So that is a toughie there. I don't think we've stumped folks that bad in a while. There's only
everybody sound your buzzers.
Yeah. No, it wasn't Ed. Tom is the only one who got that one right. KC3BFY.
Uh-huh.
So, I can tell you this for sure. We're not going over the questions on the order which I put them on the sheet here tonight for whatever reason. So
Does it matter?
not so far,
Oh,
but it could. If something unexpected happens, that's the reason why. What is the reason that a series diode is connected between a solar panel and a storage battery that is being charged by the panel? A, the diode serves to regulate the charging voltage to prevent overcharge.
B, the diode prevents self-discharge of the battery through the panel during times of low or no illumination.
C, the diode limits the current flowing from the panel to a safe value.
D, the diode greatly increases the efficiency during times of high illumination. I actually know this one, or at least I'm pretty sure I do know this one. I'm going to go straight for the kill on this one because I'm pretty sure it's B. The diode prevents self-discharge of the battery through the panel during times of low or no illumination. So that's going to keep the voltage basically from flowing backwards into the panel and using it like a load to drain the battery. And I know that's a common problem if you don't have something there to keep it from happening.
Yep.
That's why the voltage regulator serves for that purpose too.
Yep. Everyone's saying that over in the chat room. I'm going to agree with you. It's B.
I read something about that not too long ago. I was looking up some stuff for a potential project for Amateur Logic.
Yep.
Which of the following is a disadvantage of using wind as a primary source of power for an emergency station? A, the conversion efficiency from mechanical energy to electrical energy is less than 2%.
B, the voltage and current rating of such systems are not compatible with amateur equipment.
C, a large energy storage system is needed to supply power when the wind is not blowing.
Or D, all of these choices are correct. A couple of those sound like pretty reasonable answers in there. Let's go over them all though. A, the conversion efficiency of mechanical energy to electrical energy is less than 2%. If it was, you'd never get your car battery charged.
Yeah.
That's mechanical energy. B, the voltage and current ratings of such systems are not compatible with amateur equipment. That sounds somewhat feasible, but that's not really the answer. So we know it's not D. All of these choices are correct. I'm going to say, and probably, I hadn't looked at the chat room, I think...
they all nailed it.
Yeah, it is C. A large energy storage system is needed to supply power when the wind is not blowing. It's pretty much a no-brainer there.
Yeah. Yeah, you're going to have a lot of batteries for wind power.
Mm-hmm. Or you really need batteries with solar power as well.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but the sun comes up every day. There's at least some.
Well,
the wind don't blow every day. The sun's going to rise.
Yeah, but if it's cloudy, you're not
going to get as much, but you'll still get some.
Yeah, I don't know it'll be enough to make a difference, but if the wind's not blowing, you're sure not going to be generating any voltage.
You still have to have quite a few batteries to make it feasible to use that.
Yeah.
I've had like a hankering or whatever. I want to like power my shack with solar power. Mm-hmm. Although it doesn't really make any sense to do it because it's going to be super expensive. It's probably going to save me about $2 a month on my electric bill.
After you've paid for the system.
But I just would like to do it just to say that I did it. But it doesn't really make financial sense to do.
Well, you've got a nice, but you couldn't leave it out there all the time. Not
that canvas one.
No. Well, tell you what, I think it's about time we take a break, reshuffle the questions just a bit.
Okay.
And come back and continue on. So let's get a message from ICOM.
Cheers.
Heard it, worked it, logged it.
It's time to get the transceiver that's best suited for your lifestyle. ICOM offers a variety of high-performance and innovative products. Make the most out of contest season with one of these ICOMs today. IC7610, the SDR every ham wants. This high-performance SDR has the ability to pick out the faintest of signals, even in the presence of stronger adjacent signals. The ICOM IC7610 is a direct sampling, software-defined radio that will change the world's definition of a SDR transceiver. RF direct sampling, 110 RMDR, independent dual receivers, and dual digicell. Or get the IC7300. Changing the way entry-level HF is designed, this high-performance, innovative HF transceiver with a compact design will far exceed your expectations. RF direct sampling, 15 discrete bandpass filters, large 4.3-inch color touchscreen, real-time spectrum scope, and SD memory card slot. Keep your competitive edge with faster processors, higher input gain, higher display resolution, and a cleaner signal. ICOM's IC7851 is the pinnacle of HF perfection. Dual receivers, digital IF filters, memory keyer, digital voice recorder, high-resolution spectrum waterfall display, enhanced PC connectivity, and SD memory card slot. Visit ICOMAmerica.com/amateur for more information on all the great ICOM radios. Why don't we give away
A nice ICOM ball cap and a nice ICOM Ham Crew t-shirt?
Yep.
Would that work for you?
That works
for me. I just so
for
happen
me.
to have a set of them right here.
So how would a fella go about winning one of
Well, a
those?
fella or a lady could do it. Either one. It doesn't matter.
That's true.
All you need to do is send an email to hamcollege@AmateurLogic.TV. Give us your name. That's all you need is an email address and a name. It's that simple. And you'll be entered into the drawing for the next month, and maybe you'll win. If you entered this month and your name happens to not be the one that George is trying to draw over there right now, then be sure to enter again for the following month, because good chance your name will come up eventually. Just keep on going and be persistent.
We've got a winner.
All right, who might be the lucky person?
It says, "Hi, my name is Bob, and I would love a shirt or hat." Well, you
How
can
about-
have both.
Yeah, how about both, Bob? It's your lucky day. Just so happen to have a set of them right here.
It's Bob L. Brandman, KN6DIM.
Yep, congratulations, Bob.
Congratulations, yeah. And incidentally, you don't have to have a call sign. Give them a little more spiel about this installed for me while I...
Okay,
Send
you don't have
myself
to have
a
a call
copy.
sign. This is Ham College. We're trying to make new hams, so we encourage people that don't have a call sign as well as people that have one and want to upgrade to watch the show. So we open it up to non-hams as well. All you need to do is, like I said, send your name in an email to the address you see on your screen right there, hamcollege@AmateurLogic.TV, and you'll be put into the drawing. Again, if you're interested in winning one of them, if you did not win this month, if your name was not Bob and that wasn't your call sign, go ahead and send us another email so you can be in the drawing for next month.
Mm-hmm.
Which of the following is covered by the National Electrical Code? A, acceptable bandwidth limits.
B, acceptable modulation limits.
C, electrical safety inside the ham shack.
Or D, RF exposure limits of the human body. Which of the following is covered by the National Electric Code, which is also known as NEC? Acceptable bandwidth limits. No, that doesn't
It's
really
covered
cover
by the
RF. Yeah. RF exposure limits. No, it doesn't cover RF, so it wouldn't cover modulation either. It's going to be electrical safety inside the ham shack.
That's one that makes sense to me.
Everybody's got that right over in the chat room, so let's just verify.
And I just thought about it. I think that might have been my turn, but I guess it don't matter.
Too late now. I answered it for you.
Here, I'll read yours and then come
No, I'll read my own and you can answer it. Which wire or wires in a four-conductor connection should be attached to fuses or circuit breakers in a device operated from a 240 volt AC single-phase source? A, only the two wires carrying voltage.
B, only the neutral wire.
C, only the ground wire.
Or D, all wires. I can tell you right now, it's not all wires. Don't do that. Don't hook them all up to the circuit breaker. And don't do C, don't hook the ground wire up to the circuit breaker. And don't do B, don't hook up the neutral wire to the circuit breaker. The answer is going to be A, only the two wires carrying voltage attached to the circuit breakers.
And that's the answer that's coming in over there on the chat room. I hadn't.
If you do anything other than A, you're going to have a heck of a problem on your hands.
Yeah. Nope.
There are going to be sparks going everywhere.
Yeah. Everybody's saying I hadn't seen another answer. I'm going to agree with you, and I'll say one other thing about that. I just thought about it. Why wouldn't you put one in the ground wire?
Huh? Four-conductor connection. Which wire or wires of four-conductor connection should be attached to fuses or circuit breakers?
Yeah. A device operated from a 240 volt AC single phase source.
So you got two.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm just saying there's a reason you wouldn't put one in the ground wire too. And that's because you wouldn't want the ground to become disconnected and everything else still be connected.
Oh, so, well, you don't want your power from your bus going into the ground either, because you're going to have a fire.
Well, that's true, yeah. This is a good way to, no, it's not a good way to start a fire, but it is a way. You wouldn't want to
and
do
if you don't know the answer to this, call an electrician, honestly.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't be doing that. I'm not sure why they would even put this on there.
Yeah.
But they did, so.
Yeah.
And that's the answer. What is the minimum wire size that may be safely used for a circuit that draws up to 20 amperes of continuous current? A, AWG number 20.
B, AWG number 16.
C, AWG number 12.
Or D, American wire gauge number 8. For a 20 ampere.
I actually know these. These are something I've actually got some experience with.
For a 20 ampere continuous current.
Not that I have experience with some of the other stuff, but.
What is the minimum wire size that may be safely used? If you're going to draw 20 amps. Well, I know number 20 wire is too small for that. It's way too small. Number 16 gauge, yeah, that would be.
That's pretty small.
That'd be pretty small. D, number 8, that's pretty big. You could draw more than 20 amps with a number 8.
Yep.
Number 12, that seems about right. That's typically what you're going to see in most single-phase wiring in your house. It's probably a number 12 or a number 14, but number 12 for 20 amp, that's what I'm going with. That's what everybody's saying over in the chat room. Number 12.
Nailed it.
And you know, when I built this studio here, as well as a ham shack and electronics shop, I thought, you know, I'll be drawing some current out of some of these outlets in here. I want to make sure that I use a big enough gauge wire for these outlets. Mm-hmm. So I wired the building with number 10.
Oh, wow. You bet you had a fun time putting those in the receptacles.
That is, it'll go, but it is tough.
It doesn't go in the push pins on the back.
No.
You have to put the screws on them.
You have to do the screws. But you know, it's better to do the screws than the push pins anyway. But yeah, it was kind of tough twisting it around there and getting it to go. But
yeah,
I don't I don't worry about
before.
resistive losses.
You probably got more chance of having a problem with the receptacle than you do the wire.
Oh, I do, yeah. Except for that one, I ran a screw through up there in the wall when I was wiring it. That was fun troubleshooting.
Yep, I bet. Oh, it didn't spark? You didn't know about it?
No, just through the breaker.
Oh.
Yeah, it wasn't on. I was hanging an awning on the outside of the building and ran a long screw through there. Just happened to come out.
Oh,
right
so then
there.
you turned the power on and it
And
flipped?
it threw the breaker immediately.
Oh, wow.
And
It's easier to find it when you screw the screw in it while it's still hot.
well, it is. And you get a little indication in your fingers there too, possibly.
And you can find it when you look for the little burn spot.
Yeah. Oh, we were speaking of wire gauges. This is just a little comparison here. This is not to actual scale, but it's relative.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, to each other.
People would be trying to steal the copper out of your shop if you had copper wire that big in there.
Number 18, the red there, that's a lot smaller than the number 12. Number 10 is bigger than the number 12, trust me.
Yeah, and you wouldn't think it much, but it actually is considerably bit bigger.
Yeah. So I suspect everyone here tonight knows it, but these numbers run backwards. The higher the number, the smaller the gauge. What size of fuse or circuit breaker would be appropriate to use with a circuit that uses AWG number 14 wiring? Is it A, 100 amps?
B, 60 amperes?
C, 30 amperes?
Or D, 15 amperes?
Somebody already answered this one and we hadn't even called it out yet.
Who did?
Ralph? Ralph knows this stuff, man.
Uh-huh. Yeah, this one, I know this one too. It's not 100 amps. That takes a pretty good size piece of wire, about the size of your thumb.
Yeah. He found the button. Say hallelujah. Yeah.
Hallelujah. The answer is going to be D, 15 amps. 30 amps is way too big for 14 gauge. Yours was about 12 gauge for 20 amps, so it just makes sense that the 15 amps is going to be one size down.
Yep.
And the next size down below that would be 14.
So everybody's getting that one in the chat room too.
But I know these from a previous life.
Yeah. Back when you used to twist wires.
Which of the following is a primary reason for not placing a gasoline-fueled generator inside an occupied area? A, danger of carbon monoxide poisoning.
B, danger of engine over torque.
Wow. C, lack of oxygen for adequate combustion.
Or D, lack of nitrogen for adequate combustion. Well, I don't know about the nitrogen being a factor there. You would think, well, but you probably know better. Lack of oxygen for adequate combustion. You do have to have oxygen for combustion. Danger of engine over torque. No, not at all. A, danger of carbon monoxide poisoning. I hadn't even looked at the chat room, but let me say, if anybody got that wrong in there, we're going to have to do some splaining, because that's...
Well, they all got it right.
They all got it right. Yeah, truly, well, Kevin says truly stupid answers. Not you guys in the chat room. The answers down here.
Yeah, I think he's talking. He has to be talking about the other.
He's not calling out the people in the chat room.
The alternate or the incorrect answers on there. They're just like way out there.
Yeah, pretty bad. It is I think we all know that. You know, gasoline engine, the exhaust out of it contains carbon monoxide,
and it will kill you very quickly.
It'll make you very sick if it don't kill you. Which of the following conditions will cause a ground fault circuit interrupter, GFCI, to disconnect the 120 or 240 volt AC line to a device?
A. Oh, I'm sorry. You go ahead. I'm ready to jump the gun. I'm ready to go, man.
A, current flowing from one or more of the voltage carrying wires to the neutral wire.
B, current flowing from one or more of the voltage carrying wires directly to ground.
C, overvoltage on the voltage carrying wires.
Or D, all these choices are correct. They're not correct, not all of them. And overvoltage is not the reason for the ground fault circuit interrupter. Current flowing from one or more of the voltage carrying wires to the neutral wire. No, that's kind of how the circuit works. But current flowing from one or more of the voltage carrying wires directly to ground will cause it to trip. The ground fault circuit interrupter. That's why they name it that. They're usually put in wet places like in your garage or near your bathroom sink and things like that. But it's the answer is going to be B. Current flowing from one or more of the voltage carrying wires directly to ground.
There you go. Yep. And that's a very good circuit. Although they trip sometimes for no good reason and it's irritating, it still could save your life.
You know, I stay in hotels almost every week at work, and it's really rare for me to go to plug in the hairdryer at the one by the sink and not have to reset it first.
And you
almost
wonder
every single one.
how that happens.
I wonder if the housekeeping people are just told to push it. I don't.
Push the test button.
Maybe. I'm not sure, but they're almost always like that.
Yeah. Because you should not have any current flowing through that ground wire. Or if you do, it should be the same between either one of the two conductors there. If it's out of balance or it's flowing a little more from one than the other, it's going to trip that thing and save your life.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, they're usually in wet areas. But anyway, it's a good thing to have. If you don't have them near your bathroom sinks and stuff, you may want to look into having that done.
Yep. Everyone's done exceptionally well so far on these tonight.
So far.
And they're all,
come on, hit us with some hard ones.
We're going to hit you with some hard ones, right?
In 2 weeks? Or 2 months, rather?
Yeah, probably. They'll be really hard then.
Yeah.
We're going to have to do some studying, I can tell you right now. But we'll be back in a few minutes. In the meantime, we've got something for you to look at here. Well, really another resource to study for your license exam. But not only that, we might have a little intermission here.
Awesome. Those are always fun.
Well, hello, boy. Now, what do you say?
Let's make with the popcorn right away.
Too much trouble and bother, yes, indeed.
No, man, heat's all you need.
You need more than heat, boy, according to Hoyle. You need popcorn, salt, butter, and oil. And a frying pan, or to be completely proper, you ought to have a popper.
I dig it you ain't hip, old man, to easy pop popped in its own pan.
I mean, easy pop popped in its own pan?
Now you're swinging, Daddy. Crazy man. Why don't you make it with me to the grocery shop? We'll both take a pan of this easy pop. Now, give it the heat vent. That's the wildest. Easy Pop's too much, the neatest, the mildest. We'll all have a gallon in just about a minute. Popcorn, salt, and oil, and everything in it.
What do you know? No muss, no fuss. There's Easy Pop popcorn for all of us.
Easy Pop, man, that's real popcorn.
Are you new to the ham world or an existing amateur operator who wants to take your license to the next level? Study for your radio license exam at hamstudy.org. Hamstudy.org is a free online learning tool powered by ICOM. It was created by Richard Bateman, KD7BBC, Michael Stufflebeam, KV9G, and Rich Porter, KK6GKE, and it uses a modern web design to enhance the experience of studying for your technician, general, and amateur extra exams. Since 2013, hamstudy.org has helped new and existing hams to familiarize themselves with the question pools, Use stats-based flashcards to focus on material they need to learn and take practice exams to gauge progress. Visit hamstudy.org on your desktop computer or mobile device. Register for a free account at hamstudy.org to access personalized study history and other site features. Prepare for an exam in an intuitive and comprehensive manner. Check out hamstudy.org, powered by ICOM, for free learning tools. Good luck on your next exam.
No. No. No, no, no. No, I don't like it. No. I don't like it. Yes, they're fantastic. They're just fantastic. Yes, they're beautiful. Yes, I love them.
Socialites, the choosy woman's choice.
Isn't the chicken lucky that eggs are the shape they are? Not square, not rectangular, but perfectly egg-shaped. And aren't you lucky, too, that the eggs you buy from Kroger's are perfectly egg-shaped and as fresh as the hen can make them? Cackling fresh eggs from Kroger, gathered fresh and cooled on the spot, then whisked away in a real cool truck for grading and dating by a government inspector. Every egg graded, every carton dated in a cool grading room. From the hen to the Kroger dairy case, they're kept cool all the way, so they're grade A all the way. Guaranteed to ride high in the skillet. Guaranteed cackling fresh. Who but Kroger sells cackling fresh eggs?
Nobody.
Now you can be Batman in your very own Batmobile by Marx. Comes complete with Batcape. No batteries needed, ever. Just back up to wind the powerful spring motor. Set the brake. Release and holy blast off! Away you go in your very own Batmobile by Marx.
This is the Thiokol Vibration Laboratory in Utah. Here, our giant vibrators give Minuteman missile components the shaking of their lives.
This week, Ford is using the same vibrators to give the 73 Ford Galaxy 500 over 1 million bumps and shakes. Ford is out to prove a point. Quiet is the sound of a well-made car. Before the shake test, we took sound readings and got a very quiet 65 decibels. But will this Ford Galaxy 500 be as quiet after 1 million bumps, shakes, and deep vibrations? Most of them so fast, we had to remove the gas tank and cool the shocks to keep them from overheating. Now, on the same highway, at the same speed and conditions, not 1 decibel point noisier. In Ford Galaxy 500, quiet is the sound of a well-made car. See it at your Ford dealers now.
They really tested that car out, man. That thing would have been suitable for the submarine races, I guess.
I've seen them like that before, and they weren't on that testing
They weren't on the machine.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That is.
Why must the metal enclosure of every item of station equipment be grounded? A, it prevents a blown fuse in the event of an internal short circuit.
B, it prevents signal overload.
C, it ensures that the neutral wire is grounded.
Or D, it ensures that hazardous voltages cannot appear on the chassis. Why must a metal enclosure of every item of station equipment be grounded? Well, that's a good idea. I'm going to tell you there's some people who disagree with this for RFI prevention reasons. But if you want to pass this test on the exam, then listen to me now and hear me later. A, it prevents a blown fuse in the event of an internal short circuit. No. B, it prevents signal overload. Nope. C, it ensures the neutral wire is grounded. Nope. D, it ensures that hazardous voltages cannot appear on the chassis. There's your answer. It's D, and everyone says that over in the chat room.
Well, they all passed.
And they did all pass.
Yep.
Let's give them a fist bump.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Here.
Virtual fist bump. What is the purpose of a power supply interlock? A, to prevent unauthorized changes to the circuit that would void the manufacturer's warranty.
B, to shut down the unit if it becomes too hot.
C, to ensure that dangerous voltages are removed if the cabinet is opened.
Or D, to shut off the power supply if too much voltage is produced. Okay, prevent unauthorized changes to the circuit. No, that's not it. I think that's a safety mechanism. To shut down if it becomes too hot. No. Voltages are removed if the cabinet is opened. I think that's going to be the answer. To shut off the power supply. Yeah, the answer is going to be C, I'm pretty sure. To ensure that dangerous voltages are removed if the cabinet is open. So, like, if you open it, you're not going to, like, stick a screwdriver in something, get high voltage, and get yourself electrocuted. Pretty sure that's going to be it. Power supply interlock. So that tells me that when you open it, it's going to kill the power supply.
Mm-hmm. That's what everyone in the chat room is saying, and that's what I'm saying too. And it is C, to ensure the dangerous voltages are removed if the cabinet is opened. On my tube-type linear amplifier, as a matter of fact, it's an Ameritron. If you take the top off of it, there's a switch right there that when you pull the top off, it releases that switch, and you no longer have voltage inside going to the circuit. On the big broadcast transmitters I work on, there are interlock switches on every door or access point to them. And there's actually two in there. There's one that's a little micro switch as a plunger that goes in and out whenever you open the door. And if that plunger pops out, the micro switch is not made, so the control circuitry on the transmitter shuts down the high voltage. But also, there's two big insulated posts sitting there with brass knobs on the end of them that the high voltage of the transmitter runs to. And when that plunger comes out, it puts a shorting plate across those two posts right there. And it shorts that high voltage out directly to ground as a secondary safety measure. So let me just say, if you haven't experienced opening a cabinet on a transmitter that's running, a tube type transmitter with maybe, I don't know, 10,000 volts or so going on it, you haven't really heard a loud noise before. It makes quite a racket.
Oh yeah.
But, it prevents you from getting shocked. What you got to be careful of, though, is those things will stick and that plunger won't come out when you open the door. So you need to check those as well. But I mean, most of you are probably not working on broadcast transmitters, but just a thought there. You got the interlock to protect you. Make sure that interlock is actually working, though, that the switch didn't get stuck because it's been in the closed position for so long.
Yeah. Probably a good idea to kill the power and test that occasionally, I would imagine.
It is. Or you can actually physically look at it and see, in the case I'm talking about.
Which of the following is a danger from lead tin solder? A, lead can contaminate food if hands are not washed carefully after handling the solder.
B, high voltages can cause lead tin solder to disintegrate suddenly.
C, tin in the solder can cold flow, causing shorts in the circuit.
Or D, RF energy can convert the lead into a poisonous gas.
I read that as in the solder can. First time.
Oh, really? I didn't notice.
That's why I backed up and started over. What you got in the soda can?
Oh, which of the following is a danger from lead tin solder? Well, RF energy, as far as I know, doesn't convert the lead into a poisonous gas. Tin in the solder can cold flow, causing shorts in the circuits. No. I mean, you can have cold solder flow, but it doesn't cause shorts. It actually probably causes opens. B, high voltage can cause lead tin solder to disintegrate suddenly. No. A, lead can contaminate food if your hands are not washed carefully after handling the solder. That's the only one that really makes sense there.
That makes sense.
That's what everybody's saying.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. Why should solder joints not be used with the wires that connect the base of a tower to a system of ground rods? A, the resistance of solder is too high.
B, solder flux will prevent a low conductivity connection.
C, the solder has too high a dielectric constant to provide adequate lightning protection.
Or D, a soldered joint will likely be destroyed by the heat of a lightning strike. Reading that one last, I'm going to tell you that's the answer. It's got to be, because a lightning bolt's going to be a whole heck of a lot hotter than my soldering iron is. And I'm pretty sure that's just going to go up in smoke.
Yeah, very good chance that it could melt the solder when it hits.
That's like the obvious jumps out at you answer. That's the only thing it can be on there.
And if you don't have damage from that strike right then, you've loosened up the ground connection. Next strike you get, you don't have a ground connection. So that's the answer right there. I'm going to agree as well as everyone in the chat room. Solder joint will likely be destroyed by the heat of a lightning strike.
Yeah, that's probably a lot hotter than my little Weller soldering iron.
Unless you've got a mighty big Weller, yeah, I would agree.
Which of the following is good practice for lightning protection grounds? A, they must be bonded to all buried water and gas lines.
C, bends in the ground wires must be made as close as possible to a right angle.
C, lightning grounds must be connected to all ungrounded wiring.
Or D, they must be bonded together with all other grounds. Which of the following is good practice for lightning protection grounds? A, they must be bonded to all buried water and gas lines. That's not it. I mean, you could bury it to a water line. I wouldn't suggest connecting it to a gas line.
This doesn't seem like a good idea to me.
No,
I'm just saying.
I could see that becoming an issue. B, bends in ground wires must be made as close as possible to a right angle, 90-degree angle. No, as a matter of fact, that's right the opposite of what you want. You want your grounds to be as straight as possible to the ground connection. You want to avoid using right angles. C, lightning grounds must be connected to all ungrounded wiring. No, I mean, you'd be shorting out everything that you had. That wouldn't make sense at all, tying your AC lines to ground. Or D, they must be bonded together with all other grounds. Everybody got that right there.
Mm-hmm. A lot of bonding going on there.
In the chat room.
Yep.
And there should be on your ground system.
Well, cool. It seems like this last batch of questions, like they're just kind of like, they're almost like freebies.
A lot of common sense.
Because they're like, yeah, like the not right answers, the incorrect answers are just so way out there that You know, you would have never had to have any exposure to anything to not get that right.
I mean,
on this round.
Yeah, there are people in the world who would have missed those, but anybody that's kind of into the hobby or wants to get in it probably already knows.
Probably has at least a
stuff.
clue about a lot of it.
Mm-hmm. Except for the voltage that comes out of a single voltaic, whatever that was I said earlier.
Photovoltaic cell.
Photovoltaic cell, yeah.
But that's a half a volt. Everybody knows that.
They do now.
As long as there's no resistance, no load on it.
That's the kind of information right there you watch Ham College for.
It is.
Yeah.
I learned it right here.
Because 9 out of 10 people who answer the question in a chat room will get it wrong the first time. I guarantee if we ask it again, there wouldn't be any wrong answers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, enough of that. What must you do when powering your house from an emergency generator? A, disconnect the incoming utility power feed.
B, ensure that the generator is not grounded.
C, ensure that all lightning grounds are disconnected.
Or D, all of these choices are correct. I can tell you now they're not all correct.
No.
And you ensure that all lightning grounds are disconnected. You don't want to do that. Ensure that the generator is not grounded. It's perfectly fine to ground the chassis of your generator. I don't ground mine, but you can. Disconnect the incoming utility power feed. That's going to be your answer right there, because if you hook your generator output up to the circuit of your house, it can backfeed into the power lines. If the power comes on, you're going to have a heck of an explosion, or you could, backfeed through the power lines, I guess, and cause somebody else to get shocked in their own home, I guess. It's possible.
And cause some kind of damage.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be quite a load on your generator if you do that.
Yeah.
No, you definitely don't want to do that. You want to make sure that the incoming utility power is disconnected. Everybody got that.
What is the main reason to use keyed connectors instead of non-keyed types? A, prevention of use by unauthorized persons.
B, reduced chance of incorrect mating.
C, higher current carrying capacity.
D, all of these choices are correct. Well, they can't all be correct.
No. Well, they
could, but
could.
they're not. Yeah.
No, they're not.
What is the main reason for using keyed connectors instead of non-keyed type? I just happen to have a keyed and a non-keyed connector right here.
Wow, that is a coincidence.
Yeah.
And it's quite handy.
Yep. This right here is a non-keyed connector. This is just
But that's an old school one. That the plugs are the same size.
Yep. An old school 120 volt connector. You could plug it in this way, or you could flip it over and plug it in the other way. It wouldn't make any difference. There's no keying or anything to keep you from flipping the polarity on it and plugging it the other direction.
You can't find those anymore, I don't think.
Not sure. This one is not really that old. I mean, it's a few years old. This one is a keyed connector right here. This is what fits on the back of our HF radios.
It's like the one right in front of us.
This is, there's 6 little individual pins on this one. The ICOM rigs take a 4-pin model, but each of these right here, the plastic cylinder that's around the pins, are shaped differently. Some of them are round, some of them have a flat side, and there's only one way that it'll plug in correctly. If you flip it over and try to plug it in the rig upside down, it won't go in.
It just won't go.
So it's keyed, and there's various types of ways they can key a connector so that you can't plug it in the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
So to answer this, what's the main reason for doing that? Prevention of use by unauthorized persons. It wouldn't do that.
The rest not that kind of key.
Yep. So we know All of these choices are not correct. A higher current carrying capacity doesn't change how much current it's going to carry. B, reduced chances of incorrect mating. Well, that's the answer. You can't make the connector up wrong. It can only go in one direction.
Yep.
I'm going to say that's the answer right there. That's basically what they said over in the chat room. B, reduced chances of incorrect mating.
Awesome.
Well, I'm glad we got through that.
That was tough.
That was pretty tough. Let's see.
Not too good up there.
I guess we ought to talk about how we're going to give away this fine radio right here.
Yep, some lucky person's going to win this. And all this.
All of that, yes.
Especially this particular one.
Well, they're not going to get my mouse. I'm keeping my mouse. And they're not going to get the air conditioner control because I think we're going
to be using that here shortly.
Yep. And they're probably not going to get your cup over there.
Not the red one.
No.
Somebody may get the black.
We may do that as a consolation prize or something.
I'll set it back here for right now.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll be back in just a moment to talk about that. Around the 15th of each month, it's Amateur Radio's original and longest-running video podcast, AmateurLogic.TV, with hosts George Thomas, Tommy Martin, and Emil Diodine. Roughly, here's what I have. The bottom trace here is ground.
While the elements will jiggle some, they're actually not too bad. It's light.
After putting it together, I decided to test everything, so I ran in 12 volts, and I'm measuring the output here.
No, it's not too windy right now, Jim. It was yesterday.
We're in the antenna switching matrix. Any one of our 6 broadcast transmitters could be connected to any of the 22 antennas.
I personally am so thrilled that George got the special award. Well deserved, my friend. That's really cool.
Yeah,
what about the Super Bowl, Emil? Did you go to the Super Bowl, or were you at home operating that night?
Tuning my amplifier, and I lost power in the shack and went outside. The house lost power. And the whole neighborhood went out for about 30 minutes. I don't know what happened.
Wow. That explains a lot. Now we can take this and put it over inside our box. It's flush to the bottom. If we were to rotate, we can see that thing goes all the way through. So we'll have a hole in the bottom. Here's what it looks like after I've got them all soldered together and heat shrinked up. Okay, let's give it a try and see how it worked out. So there you have it, the hula loop. No, you can't null out the dogs barking.
I have 2 thin film solar cells to run this. Looks like a little mini weather satellite, actually. And I'm using guitar string for the antennas.
I particularly like that last one there, $29.99. You can get a 50-foot garden hose extension cord combo.
Do not get cord wet.
Now, most of these J-poles are built with metal elements or tubing. The reason I chose wire for this one is the length of this particular one. So I wanted to hang it from the tree so I can hoist it up there.
Yeah.
Go fishing.
Well, we couldn't find the reel.
Yeah. Is that what that is?
All right, Tommy, sing the theme song here. You know,
on the last show, whenever we decide to shut this down, we're going to sign off by that.
Okay.
You're going to fly the Amateur Logic flag. We're going to have to come up with one, so we just won't ever stop.
Oh. Yeah, it just occurred to me while we were watching that right there. Well, it'll be 14 years next month.
Yeah.
14 years. We went through numerous hairstyles.
We went through a lot of things.
Yeah. During that, wow.
It's been, we've done a lot. It's been a fun ride for 14 years.
Yeah.
It really has. Sometimes it's been a little bit hard to find the time to do them, but it's always satisfying once you finish getting your segment together and everything. And then doing the show parts, that's always a blast.
And that 6-month summer vacation, that was...
Yeah, that was a long break.
It was. But we used to take, back then we would take the summer off, just like regular television, we'd release our episodes seasonally like that.
Yeah.
Then the demand just got so high that we just had to do it every month.
Yeah, well, the viewership picked up so much.
Yeah.
It did. It's been fun. I get a lot of fun, a lot of satisfaction out of doing them.
Oh yeah, it's always been a lot of fun, and
as long as they keep watching them, man, and like we get good feedback from them,
yeah.
I enjoy it.
We do it for you.
Actually, we honestly do.
We do. Yeah.
Try to keep the hobby going.
Yep. I tell you what, being that it's 14 years next month, why don't we celebrate with a big birthday bash?
Okay.
We can have presents.
We give out presents instead of receiving them.
There you go. What a novel idea.
Come on, that's worth one more fist bump right there.
Boy, that is. AmateurLogic.TV/contest. We've got a list of prizes there that we could give away for this.
Some nice stuff.
Starts out with the grand prize there. What's our grand prize here? What's the main item in the package?
What you're looking at right here, this nice ICOM 7300, IC 7300 HF transceiver.
You mean this innovative HF transceiver with RF direct sampling?
That would be the one.
RMDR and phase noise characteristics that are fantastic in an entry-level rig. A real-time spectrum scope. Wow.
Yeah.
It's a software-defined radio. As a matter of fact, it's the first one by one of the Japanese radio manufacturers.
Yeah.
For HF. Boy, it's got everything you can want. Really, that radio is off the charts in its price category.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing else that really offers all those features and performance.
Yeah, it's a fantastic radio. I hated having to give the one we had for loaner back when we had one.
You and me both.
Yeah, it's very nice. The audio quality on it is just fantastic.
Yeah. We've used them at field day before, and as Tommy says, we really hated to send them back. We tried not to till they remembered that that we had them. But yeah, a really nice radio. And once you've used one of these or any ICOM rig with a band scope on it, it is hard to go back.
Yeah, it is.
It really is. A real-time band scope or spectrum scope.
Yeah.
Really aids you, particularly in events like contests and such, where you can see where all those signals are and just point to them.
Just touch the screen, basically tunes right over there.
Go straight to it. This one right here doesn't seem to work on this particular one.
Well, it's the wrong angle. If you were around there in the front of it where you could see what you were touching, I'm sure it's fine.
Okay. We'll just fess up right now. This right here is a cardboard box.
What?
I know you didn't notice it.
I was about to plug the power into the back right here.
It's a good thing you didn't. Yeah, these radios are so popular that they're out of them right now at ICOM America.
Yeah.
They'll have
yours in for the winter.
Oh yeah, they'll have yours in for the winter, and they should be back in stock right away. They weren't in time for the contest, and there's a number of reasons, because we thought initially it might be a different radio we were giving away, and then turned out that one's not quite ready yet. So we'll be giving away an IC 7300, and they're still in stock at your dealers.
Mm-hmm.
They just didn't have any at the plant right now, but we'll have one to give away to some lucky winner in the middle of next month.
Absolutely. Be here before you know it.
We'll be giving away on the October 15th episode.
Yeah, so if you don't have your entry in yet, you probably need to be doing it very soon.
And we've also got a nice antenna to go with it, because you will probably want to connect an antenna to this rig.
We do. We've got the MFJ 1836H cobweb antenna. That is a very nice little antenna. It doesn't take a lot of space, and the performance is fantastic on it.
This
My
is
favorite field day antenna.
the 6-band model. It covers 20, 17, 15, 12, 10, and 6 meters. There's also a model that covers 40 meters as well. It's perfect for restricted spaces or any place, you don't have much room to put up an antenna. This thing will really fit perfect, and it's worked great for us every year at field day. Great performance. It's horizontally polarized.
Yeah, but it did seem like the noise was pretty low on it.
It was. But it performed great for us at field day for how many years now?
I know we've used it at least 3 years.
At least
I think
3
it may have been
years.
4.
Yeah. You're going to want to connect that up to the rig as well, so we're going to also throw in 100 feet of MFJ RG8X coax with connectors on it. Now that's not 100 feet.
And this is not the 8X either.
Yeah, it's kind of like that as the box version of a
This
coax.
is the
yeah. That is actually coax, but you're going to get
8X.
more than that.
Yeah.
Also, some more items to go with it. You probably, as well, you'll need a power supply.
Hey, I got
Don't
one
you
right
think?
here.
What
about this one?
You mean that MFJ 4230 DMP 12 volt 30 amp power supply?
You took the words right out of my mouth.
I could see that.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah, it's a mighty light power supply, switching supply. We've used these for several years now at our outdoor operating events and such, and whenever we need a power supply around the shack here for a project.
Yeah, I really like mine.
Yep, they're great little supplies, very portable, easy to carry with you.
And you know what? It is mighty light.
Yeah, and
for a power supply.
It is, and it's got the bonding post on the front, or you can plug banana plugs into it. And on the rear of it, it's got Anderson power pole connectors. Two pair of them on there.
Yeah, that's very handy.
Yep. And in case you wanted it to sound like $1 million on the air, what would you want?
Well, that looks like $1 million microphone with the gold on it right there. That's a Heil ICM microphone.
This is the, let's see, what is this model here? BG, I believe. It's a new model of it. It's the same mic, but with the gold windscreen and a black body.
Yeah, it's a good looking mic.
It is. It's got a push to talk button on it already right there where you can use it handheld if you'd like. Or the cable comes with the connector already installed to fit your ICOM HF rig. And there's a jack right there where you can plug in an external foot switch or a Heil hand trigger to it, or whatever you want to use for a push to talk button on it.
Yeah.
And these are custom designed to work with ICOM rigs. They've got an electrode element in it, so it gives a little bit higher gain that matches up good with the ICOM rigs.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Thanks to Bob and Heil Sound for that. And, well, we got another thing here that's pretty nice.
Yeah, I've actually got one of these. I love mine. MFJ 1486 RC radio controlled clock. Compliments of course, MFJ.
Yep. It's 12 or 24-hour display. You choose what you want to show. I set mine up here to show the local standard time as well as UTC.
Yep, that's how I've got mine set.
That's the two times that I'm always interested in, so I can see both of them right there. And I don't have to worry about setting it. Why is that?
Because it sets itself with WWV from over the air, so it's always correct.
Always correct. There's a built-in backlight, so you can use it at night.
Yep.
And there's a 10-minute ID timer built in.
But don't push it.
No, we don't push it. Yeah.
Unless you want to, but it's a good thing to have in your shack. But it's gonna make a sound in 10 minutes. We're gonna have to ID on the show. You just have to do it.
Yep. And another prize we got here. This is courtesy of Gordon West Radio School and W5YI.org. Amateur radio study guides by the premier author in the field, Gordon
Absolutely.
West.
He's the man.
WB6NOA. Gordo wrote the book on studying for your ham license.
He literally
Yes.
wrote 3 of them.
He wrote 3 of them here. We've got your choice of the general, the technician, or the extra, depending on what you're interested in to go with your radio here.
Yeah. Well, wait, I'm already an extra.
You are an extra, so why don't you get this technician book for your son?
There you go. Share the love. If you're already an extra, you don't need it. If you're a general and you want to upgrade, get the extra book. Or if you not, get a book and pass it on to somebody that may be interested in getting their ticket and help, share this great hobby we're in.
I did get the technician book for my son.
Yeah.
And he got his technician, and a month later, he got his general.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Now, if we could just get him on the air, because he lives in an antenna-restricted neighborhood.
That's his first mistake. You can't buy a house in there.
Yep. That was my thoughts, but
Of course, I'm sure he probably wasn't the one to pick it, too.
No, well, I don't know. I'm sure he had something to do with it,
Yeah.
but, if you're going to take your exam and you want to know what you're talking about or what you're answering when you go in there, there's no better study guides than the ones that come from Gordo.
Yeah, they're great. They're great books.
They are. And one final thing, just to sweeten the pot and kind of give legitimacy to the whole thing here. You looked at me funny when I said that. I will present it to one of them anyway.
The gold PL259s.
Genuine AmateurLogic faux gold.
Faux gold. Not to be used with RF for RF applications.
Yeah. 24 karat faux gold. Maybe.
Something.
Yeah. We don't actually recommend soldering to these and using them with RF.
No, but they look good sitting around.
They look good. They match that microphone perfectly. Look at that. Look at that.
Actually, they do look good with it.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's out of Tommy's private stash here because I had already given all mine away.
Well, I had some that I hoarded.
You did. He had been hoarding those, y'all. It's not the final pair. I think there's one more pair left after this.
They are. So you know what, if you don't win this year, you know what you'll be getting next year.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. The one last pair.
Yep.
And boy, you're going to want to go look at the information on the website here, AmateurLogic.TV/contest, in order to get all the details you need to enter. There's only a few things here that you'll want to pay attention to, but you do want to get them right. We just named out all the prizes there. There are some qualifications, though. You must be a licensed U.S. or Canadian amateur radio operator with a U.S. or Canadian shipping address.
And this is a big one. Only one entry per contestant. Sending more than one entry disqualifies the applicant. So please only send the one email.
And the winner is responsible for any taxes that may be incurred. We don't know that any ever have been, but we got to put that in there.
The winner agrees to use his or her call sign and name in promotional and news items related to the contest.
And contestants must not be employees or affiliates of AmateurLogic, ICOM, MFJ Enterprises, Howell Sound, Gordon West, or W5YI.
Hey, how do you enter?
How do you enter? Well, you need to send us an email. As a matter of fact, that email should go to this address right here, contest2019@AmateurLogic.TV. Now, do go to the website and check over the qualifications and all the details there on the contest. There's a link you can click on right there on the site that will set you up to send an email to this address. And there's only a few things that we want to know in there. We're going to select it by random number from the entries that we received. And the winner is going to be announced on the October 15th episode of AmateurLogic. And I think Let's see. You've got to enter between now, or actually September 5th, and Thursday, October the 10th.
So time's running out.
Yep, time's running out, and I believe we will be hosting the live stream of that particular show on Friday the 11th. There's a few things we want to know in there. In the subject line, what should you have?
In the subject line, you should have your call sign.
Only your call sign. And then down in the body of the email, there's only a few details. We want your name, call sign, class of license, and an address where we can send the winning prize to.
Yep.
We've told you when the submissions are due by October the 10th. And if for some reason it's determined that the winning entry did not meet the qualifications, then we'll draw another name using the same method. All the rules, contest information are posted at www.AmateurLogic.TV/contest.
Hey, I got a question.
Uh-huh.
What if I send my email? How do I know that it actually made it? Sometimes there are problems.
We do reply. There's an autoresponder on there that once you've entered, you'll get a reply back from Contest 2019 at AmateurLogic.TV telling you that, hey, you won. If you didn't get it, there's a few possible things. You might check your junk box or your trash to make sure that for some reason it didn't get caught and put in there. I haven't heard of anybody that's had that.
Yeah, but it could happen.
But unfortunately, just coincident with the contest right now, for some reason, Yahoo is blocking that address. We will receive your entry if you've got a Yahoo account, and that's where you sent it from, but you won't receive the autoresponder reply.
Yeah. So if you got an extra one, you may want to send it from one other than Yahoo. But you will be entered.
But only enter once. If there's any question, if you've entered and you didn't get a reply, then write one of us and we'll double check for you.
Actually, I've only had one to look up, so
I've
it must be
looked up
working pretty well.
2 or 3, and everybody that questioned it, they had entered.
Good.
So there was no problem there. Okay. Well,
73, and good luck in the contest.
Yeah, and thanks to ICOM, MFJ, Heil Sound, and Gordon West and W5YI.
Yep, appreciate them, because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have all this great stuff here to give away.
Boy, howdy. That's what Jim would have said, isn't it?
It is. It sounded just like him.
Just like him. We're going to have to get Jim back on Amateur Logic with us again soon. Before we go, we'd like to mention during the month, we know between, only having an episode once a month here on Ham College, you could be having withdrawals. Where can you find out what's going during the month?
Well, we're on most of the social media places. We've got a Facebook group, facebook.com/group/Ham College.
Or /AmateurLogic, which is probably where you'll see the most activity.
Most of it. We're also on Twitter. We've got @Ham College. We've also got @AmateurLogic.
Mm-hmm. And we've got a Google I/O, or not Google I/O, a groups.io. I don't even know what you call it. Group.
Group
now, groups.io/G/AmateurLogic.
Yeah, that's growing a pretty good bit.
Yeah, that has grown some.
Yeah, it is. And if you're not a Facebook user or a Twitter user, you can sign up on Groups.io, and we send out the same notifications when we're going to shoot. So if you want to catch the live stream, you can find out like that instead of going on to the other places.
It's a good way to find out, and Groups.io will actually send you an email if you opt in for that. So you'll get notification that way as well. Well, Dean, I think that is probably going to do it for us tonight. We've finished what was in the old general class
Yeah, I
exam pool.
hoped we were going to finish it up with a little good buzzer action for them, but just didn't happen.
It could still happen because we're going to go find what has been changed in that pool and cover that next month.
Yeah, so maybe there'll be a little buzzer action next month for you. So I know some of them, Emil, usually look forward to that.
Well, don't feel bad because once we've completed this, which should be in the next episode or two, we will be moving to the extra, and there will be plenty of buzzer action.
We'll make up for the lost buzzer action for there.
Yep. Well, thanks for being here with us tonight, everyone. We always enjoy it, and you know, most of the people in the chat room, I've got to say, most of them are hams. Not all of them, but I believe most of them are. But you know, there's a lot of non-hams watching this show, and that's, well, it's designed for ham and non-ham alike. We want to encourage you to do your studying and get licensed. You know, if you're a non-ham, jump in and the technician pool there and do it. It's not that difficult.
We did it.
We did it. Matter of fact, we've gone through all 3 books here.
Yeah.
So if we can do it, duh.
Yeah, you can do it too.
Yeah.
We have actually got quite a few ham college graduates.
Oh, we do,
And
yeah.
it's good to hear about that. If you're a ham college graduate, you followed along with us and took your test and passed and everything, you send us a note. We'd like to hear about those. So we've heard about several already. So
cool. All right, 7-3, everyone. Remember, join us on Friday the 11th of October for the next Amateur Logic, and we're going to be giving this stuff away.
Yep, 7-3, and good luck in the contest again.
Probably so.
Nah, I don't know. That's our thing.
This is ham college. This is ham.
Did you see how I was throwing my voice there?
That was good.
Yeah. Apparently, when I edited that, I left some some of the takes on the
that was
timeline.
at the end of that.
You know, I would swear there was audio to this.
You're gonna have to sing to it or talk or whatever it is.
Yep.
Do you remember?
If you like popcorn, we've got a popcorn here just for you. Easy Pop. Easy Pop. Show me the way. Right here in this building. Oh, there it is. Easy Pop. You just don't stick it in the microwave, kids. You put it on the oven and you heat it. Just like an atomic bomb. You know it's good stuff.
I always thought that was so awesome when I was a kid.
It was. Yeah. Easy Pop popcorn. Good.